I don't know why it stopped. So none of that got recorded, so why don't you try to... So why don't we, as you're eating, just think of some of these things. So I had you make a grocery list, and I had you stick to that list, and if anything you wanted extra or didn't want, I had you add or remove it to the list. And you were disappointed that I told you to get water because you didn't add it. Then you were sneaking around after you paid for everything in the store trying to find a butter knife for free, so I didn't see it. And then I saw you running out of the store with the butter knife, was wondering what you were doing, and I'm sure other people were wondering what you were doing. And then you got sad, and we thought we were recording all this, and it didn't record. So why don't you say again what you said?
Frustrating that I don't feel like I'm learning, and that I feel like I'm in a pinball machine, and every single thing that I do is bound to throw me off, and I'm in a very, very negative downward spiral. And I feel like I'm in a prison of my own creation that I don't know how to get out of. And the only thing that I do that actually helps me in this practice of living is meditation, which I feel has been stripped away because I'm not waking up early enough. And I'm blaming my circumstances, but meditation is the only thing that I've found to be the best way for me to cope with any mistakes that I make. And at this point, because I haven't done it in so long, I feel like I have no control.
When was the last time you did meditation? A year ago?
A few weeks, week or two.
You're just doing yoga like the day before you got a car. What kind of meditation are we talking about here?
Like deep, prolonged periods of silence.
Well, deep, prolonged moments of silence cleanses your mind of everything.
And I haven't had that.
That is what's caused a lot of the problems that you have. You cleanse your mind of everything, you don't realize that you're bumping into women walking down the sidewalk. You cleanse your mind of everything, you don't realize the protections that you put up when you were 3, 7, 9, and 12 to stay away from predators. If you take everything out of your mind, there's nothing there. Like I told you, you don't have any filters, you don't have any yield signs, you don't have any stop signs. You're just saying whatever you want, feeling whatever you want, doing whatever you want, Because you've taken everything out of your mind. There's nothing wrong with yoga. There's nothing wrong with meditation. But that's a portion of what you do in life. It's not the majority of what you do in life.
So I've never framed it that way.
Oh, that may be a problem. This is meditation right here. This is reflecting on yourself. This is having somebody mature be with you and helping you be reflecting, but having some balance with it. Once again, we're talking about you getting all bent out of shape because you didn't put water on a list of 5 things going into the grocery store.
Everything that's happening. I don't have a moment where I'm not being prodded at something that I'm not doing or I should be doing or I suck at or whatever the fuck it might be.
So now you're blaming me.
No. I just don't have any moment where I'm not aware of my inadequacy.
Well, that's a separate issue. It has nothing to do with meditation or not meditation.
But it gives me
Make sure everything was clear. Like yours.
That's
a way for me to digest it without being so reactive.
possibly.
I feel like I've lost control completely.
Because I'm prodding you, you've lost control.
Of my ability to
Because
hold.
I'm buying you lunch and dinner and getting you a job and helping you realize that you need a job, you've lost control?
No, I'm saying I've
Okay,
lost.
what are you saying? Because these are prods that I've prodded you that you're complaining about that's lost your control. So what is it specifically that you're crying about right now? Because you started with you being upset that, you didn't have water, and then, not being able to deal with the fact that I might be upset because you didn't have a fork or plastic butter knife and you were going to go find one. Wow. Now it's into all these other things. So, what you need to start with is that you're feeling things that aren't making you happy. You need to also address other people besides yourself. And once again, you're so, closed-minded about your feelings and your situation. Have you thought about your dad right now? Have you
I
thought about
want
your
to
brother?
do all of that.
Okay. So what would your dad do right now if you're crying about not putting water in a grocery cart? What'd your brother do? We're not making fun of you for crying, but you're just so off balance. That's why we have to start with kindergarten coloring sheets, and we have to go from there. You're starting with kindergarten coloring sheets, and you're not able to handle the stress. Yet you're a 30-year-old man. So if you can't handle the stress of the disappointment of coloring outside of the kindergarten coloring sheet, is that my fault? Is that your dad's fault? No, it's not my fault. It's not your dad's fault. It's not his wife's fault. It's not your brother's fault. It's a healthy thing that you don't want to disappoint me. But you're distorting that to, you're trying to, I'm not yelling at you. I'm sternly talking to you to make sure you get the point. I'm not disciplining you. I'm not taking your car away from you. I'm not taking your money away from you. I'm not taking your food away from you. You need to really prioritize what's going on here. So it's okay for you not to want to disappoint me, but you can't be so depressed, crying because you've disappointed me by forgetting to put water on the grocery list.
It's a buildup of all this stuff.
Oh, what stuff? Me taking 2 weeks out of my life to hold your hand so you can get off the beach? All these things? Once again, what the hell are you talking about? And keep more than just your feelings in mind when you're you're addressing a situation. So, you slept in your car for 2 or 3 nights now in a row, and not on the beach where somebody can mug you or rob you. What? See, you're also not addressing the progression you've made with your onslaught of negativity. You need to balance this out. You know, it's a little frustrating. Kevin keeps poking me in the eye and giving me a Grundy, okay? But I now have a car. I can work for Lyft. I've made $40 on the books with Lyft. Kevin's given me $300, $400, $500 plus all of his time. I shouldn't really complain about getting a Grundy every once in a while and having him poke me in the eye a little bit. That's how you need to deal with things as a 30-year-old man. That is the issue. That you're not able to balance these different things all in the one moment. You're overly sensitive about your frailties. You're overly sensitive about your mishaps. Yet you're also not telling yourself what progress you've made when you're overly sad about your mishap. You need to process your sadness with also reminding yourself that you're doing good. You're not doing that. You can't go through life only being happy when somebody outside of your body tells you thank you or tells you you did a good job. I'm sorry that not everybody's going to tell you you did a good job even if you did, or tell you you're a good guy even if you are. But you have to be grounded, and you need to know when you are a good guy and when you're not, based on your inner balance. Not what Susie or Kevin or Brad or Just or whoever else tells you. Yet you need stable people like your dad, Brad, and your brother, Just, to be able to balance things off of. But you need to see clearly that you just are not balanced. This concept of not having water in your cart or not having the butter knife should just roll off your back. Even if I bring it up. The only thing I brought up about any of that was that don't fucking run through a grocery store with your backpack, you know, because people are going to think you stole something. And you don't need to be, had the cops pulled on you, and your bag's patted down, and your dad called to get you from jail. So all of that has nothing to do with the fact that you needed or forgot the butter knife. It has to do with what you didn't realize with how you went about getting the butter knife. Once again, you're distracted from what the real issue is, and you're distracted by something that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you forgot the butter knife. What is a potential concern is that you ran through the grocery store with your backpack, and you ran out of the grocery store with a butter knife. You know, that's the concern. You didn't, you know what I mean? You didn't even address the real concern, and you're crying about some part of the concern that doesn't even matter. So, The bottom line is everything's okay. This has nothing to do with meditation for 16 hours in a row. You're grasping at straws, as once again the ex-con, my ex-wife, would say. And no, she's not an ex-con. She just says all these dumb Ohio things like grasping for straws and don't throw rocks at your glass house and all these, stupid things. So I always, bring them up and belittle them. It's my own silliness. So as I'm choking, I'm going to drink some water. So, Bruce Willis. So, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator. Do you think Brad or your brother, so you think your father or your brother would have these feelings with what they've experienced, what you've experienced over the last hour? Well, yes or no? So, that's what you need to focus on. I, Chase, am expressing my emotions and feeling things not the same way as my brother, who's younger than me and a male, okay, whatever, and your dad. You're all, have the same DNA, within reason, and you all have, you're all men. So, you need to understand that there's some disconnect with how you're processing different things. You also have to start understanding that my prodding of you is what helped you get off the beach and to get a job, which is just a lift and helping me. And you still have, 50 years to go. And once again, Yana wanted me to pay you. I don't want to not pay you, but we spend more time with this stuff than you do even making kindergarten Excel spreadsheets that I don't need. I'm just showing you so that you can hopefully do something with them next week. And lo and behold, we're in next week and we're still on kindergarten Excel spreadsheets.
Okay, let's move on then. I'm over it.
That's not the point.
I'm over the documentation of this chapter, this emotion. I'm done. I don't need to sulk in it anymore. It's not moving me forward.
Well, these are good statements, but for the wrong purpose.
No, I really don't need
I understand.
to be reminded of this over and over at this point. I'm ready to move forward. I don't know what the next step is, but
Did you take your sports bra off?
I really just don't want to talk about this right now.
All right, that's fine. Finish eating.